A recent report has linked the Yankees to another top free agent target in Anthony Santander. I'm going to bring you all the latest on this update as the Yankees appear to be the top suitors for Anthony Santander as well as many other free agent targets. We're going to be talking about all of this here in this video. Before we get into it though, we know some 70% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your New York Yankees news just like this, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button, join us here on the channel. We are covering everything New York Yankees, and once again, your guys' support has been absolutely insane lately, and we appreciate every single one of you guys watching this video right now. But without any further ado, let's get into our topic here. Today's focus. The Yankees seem to be putting their focus on Anthony Santander as well as Cody Bellinger as well. And in my last two videos, I spoke about Cody Bellinger to the Yankees. I do recommend checking those out because this is another pivoted scenario where the Yankees choose to go elsewhere while also having the possibility of Cody Bellinger, but this one we're focusing on Anthony Santander, and this is the first report that we have. It says, with missing out on Juan Soto, this means the Yankees must look elsewhere for another outfielder and middle of the lineup offensive presence. And according to a December 13th article from Bleacher Report's Kerry Miller, former Baltimore Orioles slugger Anthony Santander would be the perfect fit. This article goes on with many, many more little topics about here that I do have here in our clips and stuff here. But I do want to pull up our first little note here from Kerry Miller. His prediction on a contract and where Anthony Santander would sign was 5 years, $100 million to the New York Yankees. And once again, as it seems about every free agent target, Anthony Santander is also linked to the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, I know the Phillies for sure, and a few other little teams here or there, but really haven't seen anything at this number from many other teams around Anthony Santander's market at this very moment. And Anthony Santander, once again, another guy we're very, very familiar with at this point in his career. A power hitter, 44 home runs last year, not really hitting for average as much, and a okay fielder, not really anything special out there, but he's really limited to the corners and a big power bat for the middle of the field. So there are going to be a lot of people thinking that Anthony Santander really doesn't fit with the New York Yankees right now. We're looking for more of an average or a guy who hits for average rather so much in power. We have the power. We're not shy of power at all. But we also have to think about Giancarlo Stanton is not getting any younger. We're going to have potentially Cody Bellinger, as it seems, once the trade gets down. His offensive ability has become more of an average hitter rather than a home run hitter at this point in his career, but still having the ability to hit some home runs and play really anywhere in the field is another big part for him. So realistically, the Yankees could go with another heavy bat with Anthony Santander would absolutely possess and help the Yankees with going up in this next season. And looking at his average, as I mentioned as well, the 44 home runs there last season, 28 the year before, 33 the year before, and before that was really when we didn't see him, hit the bat too well on the power side of things, but he's really developed into that over the past few seasons. And as you see, though, the average 235, 257, and 240 in those specific years. So over his, pretty much full seasons just about every time, only misses a handful of games every season. He's a very consistent hitter, a very consistent guy that you can put in the field. History shows that he don't get injured too much, which is something that I don't want to jinx, but it's a very good sign for the New York Yankees being able to have a power hitter that stays healthy, a guy that stays healthy in the lineup that is very, very consistent, and also is just a very, very good power hitter in Yankee Stadium especially. And going on to that further as well, this is some more stuff that we have here regarding kind of the situation or the scenario that he would be put in Yankee Stadium. It says, defensively, Santander hasn't generated particularly the strong reviews in the recent seasons, but his work in 2024 drew harsher grades than usual. His DRS pegged at a -7, which StatCast outs above average, was at -2. Santander's average sprint speed per StatCast is just 18th percentile of the big league players in the past season, 26 feet per second. His raw arm strength was better than average, but StatCast still pegged his throwing value well below average, likely suggests some inaccurate and or ill-advised throws. So the defensive side of things is really not Santander's pride and joy, I guess we could say, which is something that could be a major concern for the Yankees as well. We've really been able to see in last postseason that the fielding is something the Yankees really wanted to shift their focus towards. And even though they have in the outfield, they're going to have Judge and Wright, likely Jason Dominguez in center, and open spot in left. This could really give Santander that kind of left field area potentially, which could be a bit of an issue when it does come to defensive runs saved and defensive side of things for the New York Yankees. But we're going to move on to another quote here from Kerry Miller. kind of going back into a bit of this, because it's going to be quite the drop from Soto's .419 on-base percentage to Santander's career mark of .307 in that department, but a switch-hitting right fielder who clubbed 44 home runs last season is about as good of a plan replacing Soto as there could be, and he does, bring a lot of facts to that, and that is a very true statement. Realistically, you're not going to get an immediate replacement for Juan Soto. That is nearly impossible at this point. Now, who's saying in a couple of years you don't? But in this offseason, realistically, it was just Soto or another guy like this. So, and having the defensive issues, but having the switch hitter, the power bat, and kind of everything, especially in Yankee Stadium, this is a really interesting signing for the Yankees that they would and likely are going to go out and try and make at least at some point, with a lot of competition coming from a lot of other AL East clubs as well. But going to this as well, if the Yankees could sign Santander while also either signing Alex Bregman or trading for Cody Bellinger, which we're getting closer and closer to Cody Bellinger. Alex Bregman is another possibility. That would constitute an aggressive and successful offseason, is what Kerry Miller had to say in this opportunity, which realistically, for losing Juan Soto, that's not a bad acquisition. Also, Max Fried, Devin Williams, you have to put those guys in this list as well, and having a list of those guys is really not a bad addition to this Yankees team, especially for what in particular they were looking for. Some ground ball hitters, some power hitters, some people who can play all over the field. Defensively, they didn't get a whole lot better, but that is still yet to be determined. There's still a lot of time to be able to actually figure that out, whether or not they are making the right moves here in this case. But here are the contract-related comparisons as well for Anthony Santander. I wanted to pull it up especially because he's more of a different kind of player in the MLB rather than just having a mix of everything. He's pretty much strictly hitting, home run power, and the switch hitting aspect of things is also a really nice, cherry on top, I guess. So, historically speaking, there are some precedents for a skill set, defensively limited, corner-only slugger. Still landing a 5-year pact, Nick Castellanos comes to mind, with the most recent example having inked a 5-year, $100 million deal with the Phillies. So, the exact same deal that Kerry Miller is projecting Anthony Santander gets with the New York Yankees would be Nick Castellanos with the Phillies, who we've seen a lot of success for him, and really a revamped fielding in Philadelphia for him. And the same offseason, Kyle Schwarber signed a 4-year, $79 million with the Phillies. Prior to that, J.D. Martinez landed a 5-year, $110 million deal with the Red Sox to serve as a full-time DH. So we know Giancarlo is going to have that DH spot right now. Of course, though, he does have a bit of an injury history, so that would give that another little boost there on the DH side of things for Anthony Santander. But overall, there really is a good spot for him in the Yankees, especially having a very interesting look at short porch, Yankee Stadium, his power, and kind of a whole bunch of things coming back to back to back. It really just does line up to be a really good spot for Anthony Santander, and we have reports that he has had mutual interest for him and the Yankees, so that is another bonus on the Yankee side of things. But I do have one last quote here from Kerry Miller, kind of touching on this. He says, he has done some real damage at Yankee Stadium too, with 3 home runs there in 2024 alone, and if he had played consecutively at Yankee Stadium over the past 3 seasons, Baseball Savant suggests he would have hit 113 home runs instead of 105. Now, that's not really a big boost, 8 more home runs than he would have in the 105 that he did have. But still, that just goes to show that he does have that little extra bit of power that is needed to get those home runs rather than a single, a double, a triple. Knowing the short porch and some slow guys, a home run could be feet away from being a single. It is kind of that scenario. So having that extra little bit of power in Yankee Stadium is always a nice thing to have, and Anthony Santander is not lacking that whatsoever. So that's all I got. Let me know what you think about Anthony Santander to the Yankees. I know that Cody Bellinger is really the main priority right now. Maybe Hiroki Sasaki, maybe someone to go into first base if Cody Bellinger don't plan out, but Anthony Santander is a very interesting one, especially with the field. Where do you think he could play out there? Let me know in the comments below, but like I said, that's all I got in this video. If you're looking for all your New York Yankees news, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button. Join us here on the channel, covering everything New York Yankees. But that's all I got. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.